Sup everyone, this is Casual Talk here. Today I'm going to be talking about there are just people out there that are willingly participate to just be a bum. As sad as it is, and it's none of my business, it's just not only it could be pathetic, people will deem them as losers of society. People that are not winners, they just want to settle, they don't care. They have no need to get themselves together. And of course, they don't have the need to, because in most cases, they don't have responsibilities. They are okay with being a bum or just being a person of low caliber, because I understand everyone's situation is different and everyone is not going to have a career. Everyone is not going to choose to have a career, and there's a lot of people that just wants to live life. But the way the world is going and where it's headed to, depending on where you live, major cities is pushing poor people out so they can have access to wealthy people or people who has money, people who are middle class. The middle class still exists. It's just a matter where the middle class can exist. The middle class has been around for a very long time. It's just because of inflation hiking the prices, like in New York City, certain parts in California, certain parts in Maryland, certain parts in Georgia, certain parts in Texas, Nevada. There's certain states that they overprice certain cities. And of course, the price is there because many cities have a lot of good jobs to offer, but are everybody going to be qualified for those jobs? Or is it going to be the rich class or the rich people, the people who are wealthy and not middle class, the ones who are above middle class? I'm talking about the millionaires, those type of people, the high earning incomers, the high earning professionals, the high earning workers, the business owners, those people, the business owners that are making a lot of money, more than the middle class, more than the average middle class. I'm talking about over $100,000 a year, 6 figures, even more. The average Joe in America is not making that kind of money. The United States average employee is an essential worker. This whole country is built off of like a pyramid. And it's a pyramid scheme, as an example, to keep the unqualified out, and it's understandable. If you do not qualify for certain professions, or you don't have certain certificates that they're looking for a certain job that you want, you do not qualify. That is just common sense. You can't go on thinking that you could apply for a janitorial custodian position that requires 3 to 4 or 5 years of experience, and they are asking for a GED or a high school diploma, and you have either the experience or without the high school or GED, or you have the high school and GED, but you don't have the experience at all. And if they say that they're not willing to train you, then what? Then they have the right to decline, because you're not the potential candidate that they're looking for. And if there's more than one candidate, then there's competition. And then when there's competition, then there's negotiation. You could see how much that company is willing to pay the janitorial custodian workers, or how much do they normally pay them in the past, and does it match up to the cost of living, and does it match up to the cost of the area of the cost of living, where you're living at, or where you want to decide to live, where you want to decide to live. Okay, if that makes sense. Now, for the people that are very able-bodied, they could be able to take care of themselves. I understand you want to live your life. I understand you just want to get by. You don't want to deal with the problems or the headache of just working so hard. But aren't you already working hard in your mid to late 20s? Yes, you, the person who's working at Family Dollar, who's working at a factory, who's just working at a hospital, doing a level entry job, an essential worker like myself. I'm in college right now to get a career. I'm not looking to be an essential worker for the rest of my life. This is not to say that I'm talking down to anybody, but I want a better quality of life. I want to have things to do. I want to have fun. I want to not just have fun, but like explore this life on God's green earth. And in order for you to do that, in order for you to travel, in order for you to have the expenses to get by and have more, you have to make a certain amount of money. And if you're by yourself, you can make it work depending on where you choose to live. So I don't buy the, oh, life is so hard, things are so expensive. I don't buy that excuse, because whose fault is it that they're put in that situation? It's the person's fault. It's the person's fault. I understand people grow up in unexpected circumstances. You have no choice. You got to start somewhere. But shouldn't it be better to start somewhere smart? Yes, I understand people has no other available options right now. I understand there's people who has no choice but to stay in a major city. They got kicked out, parents died. They had to find a place as quick as possible. Find the cheapest, best option to rent a room, rent a place. I knew people who lived with roommates. I knew people who were in that situation. Living in a cramped, small space, at least you got a room and a head over your shoulders. At least you got a roof over your head. As long as you're there and you have a plan, is it really worth wasting your money? I hear this term now from certain videos where Gen Zers, and there's some millennials that are repulsively, purposely spending their money, spending their savings, because they believe that they're not going to be a future homeowner. Because they're listening to their friends, they're listening to social media, they're just giving up. That house market, it's there. It's just that the millennial and Gen Zs, most of them does not want to move to certain places. I have a family, I don't mind. But for people that wants the nightlife, the sparkles and green, they want all the extra extravagant stuff. They want to live in Hollywood and California. They want to live in a rich man's near a rich man's lane. You need to understand your limits and be more realistic. There's a lot of things in life that is going to be out of your reach. Most, not all, but like many people is not going to reach the income of a millionaire. I am so sorry. This is just going to be real, and I'm going to be real honest with all of you. Most people in this world is not going to be high earning incomers, or they're not going to be millionaires. And that's okay. The more and the quicker you're honest with yourself, the more realistic you are, the more you understand this, the better off you'll be. So many people today are living their lives based off someone else's opinion, because of their own experiences, especially. Because someone had a bad negative experience, you're going to think that everything is going to be a bad and negative experience? That's what you call a weak-minded person. You can't be that gullible, that dumb to think otherwise, that, oh, the market and everything is so bad, everything's so expensive, I can't find a nice place. If you knew how expensive certain parts of New York City is, why did you go there in the first place? Why did you go there with the risk of, let me see, should I move here where I know that there's a history of the rent always rising, or should I move in this area where the rent is always stagnating and does not have a history of rising? Where are you going to go? Oh, my friends. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose my followers. That's the only thing I notice so many people cares about today, man. Like, well, come on. Your followers and your friends is not going to help you pay your bills. Most people's not going to even want to help you when you're on the streets, especially if it's your own fault. They don't have to help you. That's your fault. It's your fault. I'm more financially aware than I ever was before. When I was in my early 20s, now I'm in my early 30s. I'm slowly bettering my credit now. Now I'm slowly repairing and building my credit. And it's been improving, thank God, it's been improving. I can never take that away from God. It's been improving. I live in a cheaper state to live in, South Carolina. There's plenty of apartments out there, especially for one bedrooms, that I bet is going for about $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 a month. They still exist. Those places still exist. The problem is, a lot of people just are not being honest with themselves. You want to live a luxury lifestyle. You want to still live above your means. You want to be broke. You don't care if you're in so much debt, as long as you're pleasing and impressing and left the next person. Where's that going to leave you when those people are gone and they get themselves together? Who's to say there's people out there that's purposely putting you down and talking behind your back? Well, look at this girl. Like, look at him, man. This guy's an idiot, or this girl's stupid. Like, she's actually thinking that she's going to be an influencer or she's going to make it big. I've listened to so many videos of people complaining about the cost of living. But then when you look at their lifestyle, you question them. Like, is this for propaganda? Is this to scare people? Are they staged? Because there's a lot of fake people, fake influencers who's in massive debt because of their own choices, their own decisions, their own selfishness. It happens. But people choose to hide it because they know the truth for themselves. They're ashamed. They are ashamed. Now, I have a relative on my wife's side where she brought up the fact that this cousin of hers is living, I think it's a sister or another family member, and her phone got cut off and she hasn't heard from her in a few months, and now she popped back up a few days ago, and she had told my wife that her phone was cut off and that she was having problems with her sister. I don't know if it was her sister or another cousin. It's another family relative that one of my wife's cousins is living with. Apparently she's giving her problems. And this individual, because I listen to things, and I pay attention to a lot of things that people tells me. And I'm not stupid either. She told me that this relative was saying stuff like, this person is giving her a hard time. And on top of that, this cousin of hers has a history of always living under somebody else. This cousin of hers is working at the exact same job. The exact same job. I don't know if this person's not saving their money. I don't know if this person is not what they're doing with their money. That's not my business. I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna tell no grown man or a grown woman what to do. I'm not going to tell nobody what to do with their money. I know what to do with my money. You know what to do with your money. But if you know that there's going to be a problem living under somebody, just like what I said early in the video, living with roommates. I don't believe in living with no roommate. Me personally. I knew people who lived under roommates. It was drama. It was always problems. Why is that? You barely have any freedom. It's not your own space. And you have no say or no negotiation power. You don't, because it's not your place. Your name is not on the lease. Okay? 100%. You're not. You're not the one in charge. Alright? Your name is not under the lease. And when your name is not under the lease, you're living under somebody else's place. They have the power and means to kick you out whenever they want to. Or evict you. Okay? Like me. I'm renting a home. My name is on the lease along with my wife's. And that means that me and my wife has the power, okay? Especially for myself, since I'm the one that's paying for all the bills, I'm taking care of the rent. And I have no complaints here because I got the money, I got the means to get by, and I know what I qualify for, and I got my own place. Yes, it's not my own place. It's not my house, but it's a home that I'm renting. And I'm living on my own, no roommates, just me and my family. The whole point of this is that with my wife's cousin's situation, I just sit there questioning, like, why doesn't she just save her money to just move out? And my wife said this one thing. There's just some people out there. This is exactly some of the words that she said. There is just some people out there that does not want the need to feel to work hard. But I'm like, she's been working in Waffle House for how many years since I've met my wife? Since I've met my wife, her same cousin has been working at a minimum wage dead-end job. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what her hours are. Is she at least doing full-time? Like, what the heck is she doing? I'm like, you know what, let me not ask all these questions because, for one, she's not my family. And two, it's not my place and it's not my business. Three, I'm just like, what the heck? You're complaining over this relative that you're living with. Oh, they're causing me problems. I'm like, why don't you just get up, pack up, and get your own place? Why don't you live with someone else who's not going to give you a headache? That should just be a clear sign that I need to get myself together. And also, there are some people that are just very lazy. There are just some people that does not want to make it, and they just want to get by in life. But if you don't go very far, nobody's not going to help you. Nobody's not going to listen after a while. Nobody. You have to be realistic. I mean, I'm just bringing this up to give you guys an insight on how the way this world works and how the way people thinks. Many people's not going to hand things out to you. Nobody doesn't owe you nothing. I'm so sorry, but this is the real world. It goes in and out of my ears when somebody most of the time are complaining about their situation, but they're not doing nothing to change their circumstances. They're not doing nothing to change their situation. They are stuck in a loophole because they got caught up in the luxury. They got caught up with living a lifestyle, living above their means. And there's people that chooses to live below their means because they don't want to make it. They just want to settle, which I respect. But finances and things catch up with you if you don't have anything to save up for, okay? You don't have anything to save for a rainy day. Casual talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.